for being here this evening, caring so much about your children and your community. It is my wish and desire to be able to join you in that endeavor as your superintendent of schools. You hopefully have had a chance to read a little bit about me as I've tried to encapsulate 34 years of my career on one piece of paper. But it will hopefully give you some idea of the depth and breadth of my experience in New Hampshire schools. I have dedicated my career to kids in New Hampshire communities and believe I have received a great deal of satisfaction and success in that endeavor. Most recently, as Assistant Superintendent in Rochester, I have had the opportunity to learn a very different role of Central Office Administration, to work in a larger school district by New Hampshire standards with over 4,000 students and 11 facilities in the city of Rochester. My responsibilities there have been quite varied, from leading board committees and working on all areas of district supervision to some specific initiatives, both in the areas of technology and alternative learning programs for our high school students. Prior to that, I lived and worked in Concord as a principal in the Concord and Merrimack Valley School Districts for some 20 years as a principal there at both the middle school and elementary school levels. During that time, I was quite immersed in all aspects of community life, both as educator and as parent and community member. Very, very proud of all that we accomplished for our children during that time. Throughout all of that, I've had, I believe, a knowledge of New Hampshire schools and systems and what makes us unique in terms of our governance, in terms of our structures, in terms of our expectations, and believe that I have enough experience in that area to come to you and be prepared, well prepared, to be your next superintendent. There are tremendous challenges facing this community and every community in New Hampshire. The formulas and funding and support for public education is a tremendous challenge, and there is no clear answer in sight. I don't pretend to come tonight and have that answer, but do state clearly that I will come with you and advocate for this community and these children to build the best possible educational experiences we can. And as your superintendent, hope that we are able to engage in that effort together. It's a very difficult and challenging balance to take on that role as superintendent. I don't take that lightly. I come to this with a great deal of respect for the position and the mentors and leaders that I've had the wonderful experience of working with. Working with those people has given me, I believe, a strong leadership capacity to understand what it takes to lead a school, as has happened here in Guilford very successfully under your past administration. So that's probably a pretty good place to start. We've got a lot of questions to ask and a lot of things to get to. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you tonight.
Thank you, Ken. Tom, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thank you, Sue. First, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to meet with you and discuss my qualifications, my background as an educator. I've been an educator for 37 years, working in both small districts and large districts. And in those particular responsibilities, I have been starting out as a 6th grade teacher where I taught all academic subjects, moving on to an assistant principal position in the middle school principalship, and elementary principalship in a large district, Cherry Hill in New Jersey, with 11,500 students, and then moving on to an assistant superintendent position in Cherry Hill where I worked as assistant superintendent the first year for special education and human resources with over 1,100 special education students and over 1,400 employees. And as you can imagine, I spent a good majority of my time that year with our board solicitor dealing with legal issues. The next 3 years I was assistant superintendent for human resources, again, 1,400 employees, and elementary education, where I supervised 13 elementary schools. And in that role, was able to lead several initiatives within the district. And then moving on to my current position. My current position is superintendent in Chemung Township. I've been there for 8 years as a superintendent, and the important point to note about that position is that you do everything in a small district. You work in facilities management, budget, curriculum, human resources. So you have a hand in all aspects of the operation of the school district. On the personal side, I'd start by telling you about my family. I've been married, my wife and I will be married for 35 years this October. We have 2 daughters, one who is 26 years old, and one of the things I feel proud to say is that she's gainfully employed in the major, her college major for the last 3 years, marketing. I have a younger daughter who will turn 21 in a couple of weeks, and she is following her father's footsteps in education. She's a speech and language pathology major at Marywood University in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then we have Sparky, our 5-pound Maltese, and as I've told everyone, he luckily has no aspirations for higher education. Some other things, I would tell you that family is important to me. My spiritual life as well as my physical well-being. I run 2.5 miles a day. Some other characteristics or some other traits. I'm an optimist, problem solver, someone who works collaboratively with all the different segments of the school community. I believe in lifelong learning, and I view myself as a lifelong learner. As I said, I'm optimistic, driven. Children always come first in all decisions that I make and that the school district makes. Visibility and accessibility are important to me. One of the things that I do in my current position, I get out in the buildings about 2 to 3 times a week in the classrooms. The students in my school district know who the superintendent is and what my role is in supporting their education and also supporting the teachers in the classroom. I guess that's, in a nutshell, who I am, and again, I really relish this opportunity to speak with you tonight and hopefully to become the next superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Jack?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jack Billings. I've been here in the district for about a year and a half. A couple of things I wanted to share this evening is that I really, first of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the community and specifically for all of the staffing on all levels of staffing today that I know went through enormous sacrifice and covered for one another. The process, I'm sure my colleagues will agree, was seamless, and it was even overwhelming to me, being in the school district, to walk into rooms with the number of bodies that were in the rooms and knowing the sacrifices the staff went through today to make that possible. So I extend my sincere appreciation for all of that. The second thing is that we were challenged to put this bullet sheet together, which I really found interesting because it gave me a chance to read about them. It really sort of gave me a chance to reflect upon some of the things that I had done. And I think the sheets stand for themselves. I've done it from a district-wide curriculum coordinator, I've been an acting superintendent. I think perhaps one of the things that's unique for me in comparison to my colleagues is that I actually sat on an elected school board. I actually did that for the intention of really beginning to try to understand the political relationship that exists between the superintendent and the school board. And in my capacity on that school board, served to do collective bargaining agreement, budget proposals, and so forth. But I hope that what jumps off my sheet and what I think that I would like to share with you is that I perceive myself as an instructional leader first and a business leader second. And by that I mean that since I entered the field of education in 1979, I've literally been in the classroom every year of the, I'm losing track, I think it's 30 or 31 years. I still think I'm the youngster amongst the three of us, but having literally taught in a kindergarten and having literally taught on the doctoral level in a variety of capacities, high school, middle school, working in effective middle school models in that capacity, working in academic councils. But the other exciting twist in my life is that I too think I'm a lifelong learner. I've really enjoyed learning. I've really enjoyed the classroom. I've actually missed being a student in the classroom. But having completed the doctorate, to then go back and work on the university level, and for the last 10 or 11 years, working with literally thousands of doctoral students in several capacities. One is the training and assigning of doctoral dissertation committees to work with doctoral students in the field of education reform. Second is to work with doctoral students to actually literally help them construct their applied dissertations. But more importantly, the really breadth of experience that I've had over the last 10 or 12 years, because when you work on a doctoral level, you work with such a variety of people. I've worked with speech pathologists, city superintendents, assistant superintendents. And in that work, you're working on applied dissertations. And what sets an applied dissertation separate from a traditional dissertation is that these are individuals that assess their current power base in their field. They identify a problem within their work setting. They research solutions to that problem, implement that solution, and then measure it for its success. And what that has done for the last 10 or 12 years is really take a look not only at what happens in New Hampshire, what has happened in Massachusetts, what has happened in literally dozens of states in the United States, but literally in other countries as far as what is confronting education and what is out there in cutting edge reform. Because when we work with students every day, we want to make responsible decisions of what we believe would make the best schools. But we're not working with guinea pigs, we're working with children. We want to make sure that the decisions that we make for change are going to be effective and result in positive change. On a personal level, I know I'm going to get this wrong. I think in November I'm married 29 years. If I'm not, she'll sit up there and go, no, it's 28 or whatever. I have 2 children. I have a son that in March will close on his first home and is gainfully employed in business finance. And I have a daughter who is a paramedic who bought her first home in Merrimack. So it's really sort of a fun time in our life because we moved here a year and a half ago with the idea that this is going to be that, you know, I guess some people have midlife crises where they buy red convertibles. I moved to the Lakes region, bought a boat, and love going out and watching the sunset. So again, I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank my colleagues for being here this evening and engaging in this forum so that you can make an informed choice.
Thank you, Jack.